You're listening to Crazy Shit in Real Estate. You'll be amazed at all these wild but true situations that others have found themselves in. Because on this show, you'll hear uncensored, unbelievable stories from the world of real estate. I'm Leigh Brown. Let's dive right in. I'm Leigh Brown. This is Crazy Shit in Real Estate. And today I have a third-time guest, Chris Wright. If y'all remember my friend Chris, he's from Albany, New York. You're probably wondering, how in the world does somebody come back for a third time? Well, you'll just have to listen on in, enjoy the conversation, and I'll see you on the other side. When's the last time you were on my show? It's like 4 or 5 years ago. Was it pre-COVID?
No, last year.
Oh, then this is your third visit then.
Yes.
That means there's like only, I don't know, 3 or 4 people that are in the high vaunted category of the 3-time visitors.
Yes. I keep making myself accessible.
Everywhere I go to speak, I have you in my slide deck, and I know you're a friend request I'll pick up, and then these other organizations like, well, who is that? And I'm like, have him come talk to your people. He's delightful.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I tell the lenders, like, don't even try, though. He's married to a lady with money, so be very careful trying to prospect him.
What part of your slide deck am I in? What are you talking about?
When I'm telling people to use video to explain their value and help people introduce themselves. But when that lawsuit settlement hit in October of 23, you made this beautiful static pose with your little updated headshot and the 5 pillars of what you provide. So I use that for the people who won't do video. I'm like, well, if you won't do video because you're a big chicken, be like Chris, because this is a beautiful way to break it down. And also I use your headshot as an example of how you can wear blue jeans and still look like a professional, not look like a slum.
I like that. I like to be casual, but professional.
Well, I tell them you work a market where you don't necessarily have to be in a 3-piece suit, but if you were in Manhattan, your outfit wouldn't fly.
Right. Upstate New York, everyone wears jeans and stuff like that.
Well, you're part of New York, but not the New York City part of New York. But
I'm upstate.
And Western New York is basically Pennsylvania, although my husband gets very mad when I say that to him.
Where's he from?
Jamestown, over about south of Buffalo.
Yeah. Wow. Is he a Bills fan?
Is he a what?
Buffalo Bills.
He's not really in the Bills Mafia because he's a Denver Broncos fan, but given the choice, he'll pull for the Bills over anybody else because it's a hometown team.
Yeah.
He thinks they're tacky. The fans are tacky, and they are. Are you Giants, though?
I'm a Steelers fan.
What? Oh, because you don't like the city people. I see.
Yeah. I'm from PA. I've always been a Steelers fan.
Well, you know, my husband...
I'm from the Philadelphia area.
He says that Pennsylvania is the South Carolina of the North, but he does not say that in a charitable way because we make fun of South Carolina by calling it Sub Carolina, and they don't like that very much at all. It's geography is a fun way to poke at people, honestly.
Oh, 100%.
So why do we take that away? Not everything is supposed to be the same.
I know.
So anyway, tell me what's going on in your life. So you got your real estate business revamped. You're out there speaking and teaching. You're married to a lender. For my listeners who do not realize there's 2 previous episodes, hey friends, there's her linked in here. So if you need to pause, go watch the previous Chris Wright episodes or listen and come back, you can. And if you're thinking, Leigh Brown, I ain't going to do that. Chris, tell them who you are so they can meet you.
I am Chris Wright. I am a new broker owner. I actually have a partner. I was going to open my own brokerage, and she goes, "Why would you do that? Don't reinvent the wheel. Just partner with me because I'm struggling." So I brought my knowledge and all of my acumen to her business, and now we're 50-50 partners. And it's something new. I always say, if you want to challenge yourself, try and open your own brokerage.
Ain't that the truth? It's not the same thing as selling.
It is not the same, but no, and it's been good. We are in the recruiting phase. Now I noticed your company, Community One, you don't have many agents or as many as you used to.
No, we were as big as 5 agents, and now we're down to 3. So percentage wise, that's a huge change, but numbers wise, it's not that big. But I'm not a strong recruiter. I've never been an expert recruiter. Also, to be fair, have never focused on it, but it's just not how I'm wired. But I talked to an amazing agent this week, and I'm hoping she'll join and recruit for me because, you have to supplement where you're not great, which is also why I went into your partnership. So why was this the person you called to ask and get pulled into a partnership? Where was the relationship before? How did it evolve?
Because, okay, so she's someone who I've always liked, just interacting with her as a co-broker. And she doesn't talk a lot, and she doesn't need to be seen. You know what I mean? I need to be seen. I'm an extrovert. I'm out there. I'm outside, as they say. And she was someone who I said I can talk to about what my plans are, what I want to do. I just need you to show me how to do it. New York State, we're just a weird state. We have so many rules. And I said, Cassandra, I want to open my own brokerage. Could you meet me for lunch and kind of tell me all the steps of what I need to do? Knowing the kind of person she was, she said, absolutely. She was gracious. And then she basically told me everything I needed to know. Asked for the check to our lunch. I said, I got it. She goes, before we go, I have a question for you. Would you be interested in doing this with me? And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, you can still have your own brokerage. I just need a partner because I've owned this company for 8 years and it hasn't gained any traction. I'm really not an outgoing person. I'm not an extrovert. I don't know how to grow this. People wise, et cetera, et cetera. You're outside, I'll be inside. So she's very analytical. She knows how to handle numbers, make sure our rent's paid, all that stuff, right? She does the good stuff. I'm the person out networking and mixing and meeting other agents and meeting clients and things like that, going to mixers and organizations. So that's what I do. So it's a good mix. It's a really good mix. And then on the recruiting side, she knows I've done that before. So she's like, yeah, you'd be, perfect to recruit agents and stuff like that. So that's how it came into fruition.
Okay, so I'm going to have to be like you and go find my own Chris Wright in North Carolina so that I can be smart like Cassandra. She's crafty. I like that in a car. All right, so now everybody's listening. It's like, Leigh Brown, I'll do it. All right, fine. Reach out. Huh? Little ring-a-ding.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me why you wanted to open your own firm anyway. I mean, you've been in this for a long time and you've been involved in like Women's Council. You're, of course, in Greater Capital up there in Albany. There's a lot of agents around. Why open your own shop?
Audience, don't take this the wrong way. But I'm not crazy about real estate agents, right? I mean, it's just, I feel that a lot of people, they don't have my values. They don't have, I just don't like the way a lot of real estate agents move in this industry. I worked for other brokerages where I felt that I was around people who didn't jive with me. So I thought, you know what, let me grow my own shop and bring in people who share my values, who kind of, we click, we get a lot, and I won't hire people, I won't throw pasta against the wall of agents just to make sure I have agents. I want to interview agents and be around people in my office where we really get along and I like them and they like me. So I said, let me open my own shop and do it that way. And Cassandra, my partner, was someone who I really liked, admired, respected.
Okay, so the big question is, you're doing this big new venture right when the industry is very much in flux. And we have agents that are scared because the markets are still soft, and agents that are mad at the way professional realtors have been attacked in the media, and they're tired of being made scapegoats by the national organizations, legal troubles, and it's just very frustrating. So in building a brokerage in the midst of all that, how are you and Cassandra approaching agents that are thinking, I don't need to be a realtor. I don't need these organizations. I don't need it. Are y'all setting up to say, look, you do you. We're going to support you. Where do you think the business is going from a broker perspective?
I've had a lot of personal changes in my own life, like far as my attitude towards business, being authentic, as your book says. I love that. I read your book years ago. What's it called about authenticity? What's the actual title?
Outrageous authenticity.
Outrageous authenticity.
Like both of us.
I took that to a whole new level. I was like, you know what? I am tired of being this model person that the world thinks I should be, and just be myself, but be respectful, follow the laws, follow fair housing, follow ethics, but just be me. And I thought, if you don't like me for my beliefs, for my values, then you don't need a realtor. You need Jesus. That's Fair, right? So I said, but that's how I approached it. I approached the whole NAR settlement the same way. I said, you know what? I'm just going to have conversations with people. Hey, this is what's going on. This is how I move. This is what my commissions are, and this is how I'll get paid. Or we'll work through it. But I haven't had a problem at all since the whole NAR settlement. But it did take some while. So I understand agents out there who are struggling. But man, once you learn how to just have conversations with people, it's easy. It's super easy. So we're not having business problems at all. My statistic board is out in the hallway, and it's filled up with clients, pending deals. And a lot of those are buyers who all got the speech about commission and NAR and all that kind of stuff, and no problems. I've had one customer tell me, I don't want to work with you because I don't want to pay your commission.
Okay. Bye.
What, it's.
I mean, what are you going to do? You don't work for free. You just tell them bye. They can find somebody else to work for free. That's fine.
I've gone into a dental office, and I said to them, I said, I can no longer have my dental work done here because you don't take my insurance. And they said, bye. They didn't say, well, I want to work with you anyway, and we'll figure it out. No. Yeah, I can't pay you. You can't work with me. That's the same way real estate agents are.
I don't think I want to work with the dentist who's like, I'll figure it out later. I think I'm.
Yeah. If I switch from one carrier to another and you don't take my insurance, I have to find another dentist about. Real estate's the same.
Somebody that'll take eggs and you can trade and barter your services for your dental work. But again, got to ask 100%. Yourself what you're getting for it. All right. So does that mean that if you're given the option, would you stay with our trade associations given the option? And would you stay with all three, or would you look at them independently? Because we haven't had that opportunity in the past, and it's probably coming.
When you say all three, do you mean NAR, NYSAR, and GCAR?
Yes. And so for the normal people out there, it's Greater Capital, which is Albany, New York. NYSAR is New York State Association of Realtors, and NAR is the National Association of Realtors. But Chris slipped into acronym world so easily. Right now, if you're a listener or viewer and you're not fully aware of this, when you are a realtor with a little R, you belong to three trade associations: your local, your state, and the national. There are lawsuits proliferating all over the place from all different angles, from people saying, I don't want to be a part of three trade associations. And what we're all talking about in the business is, will that be the model going forward, or will the model break to the point where an individual realtor could say, all right, yes to local, yes to state, no to national, yes to the state, no to the local, yes to national, to pick and choose. And I do think that day's coming. So where would you land if you had those choices and you did not have to pick all three?
I like my local. I like the Greater Capital Area. I like them. And I believe NAR is necessary. It's that one in the middle that I'm having an issue with, because I'm thinking.
Still in a state of emergency from COVID, by the way, you are, right? Aren't y'all still in state of emergency?
Still a state of emergency. Still can't cold call, which I tell people warm call. I mean, if you've been in the business as long as I have, then
they're all warm.
They're all warm, right? Right. So, but I understand for new agents trying to get them to ramp up that way. But if I don't, I'm going to basically ride this out, because I don't see a reason to get rid of one of them. But it's the NYSAR one, that, or New York State, as you wanted to point out. That's the one that I see that's kind of like a middleman that's not really necessary.
Okay, what would you change if you had all the power and all the time and all the money and everybody said yes to you? So you had minions and you walked into NYSAR to fix it. What would you change to make it an organization that you would feel is valuable enough for your dues dollars?
The governor.
Oh, so well, that would make the realtors really powerful, but you'd also be really popular. I'm pretty sure the majority of the New York people would celebrate you and make statues of you forever for as long as you get somebody good like Leigh Zeldin, because he would have been good.
Exactly. Yeah, I say that in jest, but you know what I mean. No, I just think that a lot of the restrictions we have, like still being in the state of emergency, just doesn't make sense. I need to be more free. I need to be, places like Florida. I'm not sure how it is where you are, but I just really
we're not like Freedom, Florida, though. We're free-ish.
free-ish. Yeah, I just like I like more autonomy. I like to be able to run my business the way I see fit and not break laws, but just have some more ability to move freely. And that's just not the case. And of course, when it comes down to our local board, of course, they have to do what the state tells them to, and hands are tied. Not enough, that we can do. So
especially because we're surrounded by government people everywhere. I mean, that's a large portion of your client base, I would guess, too, are government employees of some sort.
Absolutely. Exactly. And we have, I'm being right in the Capitol. And when we have like lobby day, with Women's Council and things like that, we just have to go downtown, and we're in there talking to assemblymen and, the senators and the congressmen. It's not like we have to travel 2 or 3 hours to get to them. I would hate if we had to go to New York City for that. But no, I just think that our local board means well. They want to do more for the agents. They listen to us. Laura Burns, have you met her?
I don't think so.
Anyway, she's our CEO. She's
if I have, Laura, and you're watching this, and I'm sorry I forgot you, I apologize in advance.
Yeah, she goes to all the triple play. She goes to all the state stuff. Anyway, she's very agent centric, and which is beautiful. But she can only do what the state allows her to do. She has to follow those rules and laws. So that's why I would stay with my local board. We have a great board of agents on the board of directors. So I have nothing bad to say about them. They work closely with Women's Council and other organizations that's local. So no, I have no problems with our local board.
Well, and I always tell agents, like, if I'm given the choice, I'd never leave my local, because that's who I do transactions with. I mean,
100%.
People that I need to be in community with, because they're going to have a buyer for my seller, or my seller is going to be the buyer for their listing. And we want to have good relationships, but we all got to talk about what's happening in our county, what's happening with zoning and planning and development. Right. And no one realtor, I think, can successfully exist in a vacuum. No. And the most important level, I think, is the local level. But all right, we're going to go back about 5 minutes to something you said, because I want to remind you of a conversation you and I had a few years ago. I don't know if you remember it or not. When you were talking about your need to be free and your need to be more authentic and to be louder about who Chris is.
Mm-hmm.
I came up to Albany in like 17 or 18. I know it was pre-COVID when I was up there for Women's Council. And as you know, Jesus is my Trojan horse. I sneak him into every presentation. He goes everywhere with me. Mm-hmm. And you said to me, does it hurt your speaking business or anything else that you're out loud about your faith? Because if I remember correctly, you were president at the time, or president-elect of Women's Council.
Yeah.
You had some pushback from a couple of your members that thought I was too Jesus-y. And they were causing you to ask me that question, which told me something was rumbling around in the back of your head that was about to come jumping out of your face. Do you remember us having that conversation?
100%. Now that you brought it back full circle, I absolutely do. I'm glad you brought that up, because we were talking about being outrageously authentic. And I've changed my political views a lot. In
what way?
Past. Well, I used to be very blue, and now I'm more red. I am a Donald Trump supporter, not afraid to say it. I changed my party to independent, but I vote for Republican. And I use that as kind of a scapegoat in case I don't like the Republican candidates. Anyway.
That's what a lot of people are doing right now, though.
Anyway, I like to be authentic about that. And when I was talking to you, I do think about that conversation. Not only do I think about that conversation for the religious side and my values and my faith, but I also think about it because there's a saying that says, there's people who go, well, I don't care about politics, but politics care about you, right? You may not care about politics, but politics cares about us. And you have to move in an authentic way and be true to yourself, I believe, and speak your truth and speak, what makes you comfortable. I spent too many years in real estate hiding. Okay. I had to hide you know what I mean? And I figured, why hide? Because it's not about us finding our tribe. Our tribe finds us.
Oh, say that one more time. Wait a minute. I got to record you saying that as a little teaser because that was good, Chris. Say that again.
It's not about us finding our tribe. Our tribe finds us. So if you are just you are true to yourself, you speak your piece, you're comfortable in your skin, there will be people out there that go, I like you. I didn't like that other guy. I love this guy. So I noticed that. And you start finding referral sources of people that just will refer you because of who you are, the things you say. I hear people go, oh, I saw your YouTube video or I saw your TikTok. You think like I think. And I realized, why hide behind that? And when I started that political conversion, going from blue to red, just because I didn't like what I was hearing and seeing, I couldn't come out and say I was a Donald Trump supporter. I would disappoint all those people, right? So then I just had to say, you know what? I'll find new people. You know what I mean? Because I figured I wrote a number down. I said, there are 260 million adults in the United States of America. Some of them are going to like me, right?
I mean, at least your wife does, and I do. So you can have at least
exactly. So I don't think that you can hide behind fake values, fake faith. Like if you believe, how do you go to church on Sunday and then on Monday you're someone totally different? Your pastor just told you everything you need to hear. You said amen, but on Monday you said amen a little quieter, right? So
I mean, and that's where people get conflicted because you can't live two lives.
Right. You can't.
It doesn't last.
We try. And people who say, don't discuss politics and business. I asked you that question too. Mm-hmm. You say, if they don't know who I am by now, then
I can't help them.
I can't help them. And I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful because as I said a minute ago, your tribe finds you. And I know we use all types of referral sources. Some people use referral sources. Some people do lead generation organically. But if you use a lead referral source, there are actually, and I'm just saying for those who are in a conservative mind state, who think by saying I'm conservative, I'm going to lose my customer base. Well, Glenn Beck has a referral source. Dave Ramsey has a referral source. There are referral sources out there that are conservative. And I know if there are a group of people or lots of people out there who listen to the Glenn Beck show, and he has a real estate referral source called Real Estate Agents I Trust, guess who's calling me?
Okay, so I did not know that Glenn Beck has this program, and I'm part of the Blaze. Was this on the Blaze and I missed it?
Oh, if you listen to the Glenn Beck show, one of his marketing advertisements is called Real Estate Agents I Trust.
Well, I'll be looking that up myself.
Yeah, just Google up Glenn Beck Real Estate Agents I Trust, and almost every person that listens to his radio show that wants a real estate agent in your area is going to be connected to you. And guess what? You don't have to be fake. They bring up conversations that I typically wouldn't bring up in a real estate transaction. Dave Ramsey, who's a conservative economics type person, he has this radio show. He also has a referral program. I work with those people as well because I know the whole Ramsey. Now, do I agree with all of his ways of doing economics? Maybe not, right? But I do believe in a lot of it, right? Mm-hmm. And I say, okay, I believe in his philosophy on politics, conservative spending, fiscal responsibility, things like that. You can have those conversations. So, like I said, I wouldn't know this kind of stuff if I wasn't being more authentic and being out there and giving of myself openly.
So if you're in real estate and you're listening to this podcast or watching it and thinking, man, I need some more Leigh Brown answers in my life. Well, guess what, friends? I have a new program that is launching right now called Answers.Real-Estate, where I will give you every bit of insight I have to help you grow your real estate business, help you better respond to consumers, to provide a more excellent real estate experience so that the next time you land on crazy shit in real estate, you'll have a better solution to whatever you ran into. Answers.Real-Estate. There are monthly plans available. You will love it. Get your coaching. Sign up with me today.
Well, have I lost some friends?
Why do we scare people into being quiet? Because you're about to say, did you lose some friends for being more outspoken about your perspectives?
100%. You're going to lose friends. You're going to have people say, this is my favorite one. Leigh, I'm so disappointed.
Hey, wait, that's my line with my kids. That's a mom to kid line.
I'm sorry you're disappointed in me. I'm an adult. You're an adult. Your disappointment in me doesn't move me 1 centimeter. And what are you disappointed about? You know what I mean?
What's the answer to that? Like, what do they say when you ask them that question back? Do they have a response?
I just thought you were different. I thought you were. People think they have ownership of righteousness.
Yeah, nobody has that except Jesus.
Right? You don't own righteousness. And you start getting into these conversations about moral high ground and what they believe versus what you believe, and you say, "I love you." I tell people that all the time. I love you, and if you don't love me because of maybe my beliefs or my thoughts or my values, then we're at an impasse. I'll always be here for you, though. If you came to me a year later and go, remember when I blocked you? Remember that time I told you that we could no longer be friends? I am so sorry. I've had a change of heart. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm not going to say, no, it's too late. I'm going to say, I love you. And yeah, let's pick it up from where we left it off.
Okay, because you know what works about what you just said there? You didn't even hear yourself say it.
What's that?
You are, I love you and not I love you but. And
Nope.
I think that's where people get into the problems they can't get out of. I love you, but you should be this, why, and this. It's and we can be different, and we can come back later. And this is not necessarily a bad thing if we disagree. And if we agree, you have a different starting point. And like Dave Ramsey talks about a debt-free life. So if somebody mentions to me that they are into Dave Ramsey, I already know what the viewpoint is of
Bingo.
they're going to look for a bigger down payment. They're focused on getting the house paid off, which is a different viewpoint than some of the other people with whom I start. So I know where the conversation is. And that's wonderful when you're trying to serve somebody.
Right. And, it's so funny because whenever I get a Dave Ramsey referral, my first comment to them, are we paying with cash or are we financing? Because that's not a conversation that you have with everyone. But I know with Dave Ramsey people, it's about a debt-free life. Where are you with your down payment? Have you saved your 20%? And a lot of them have. Some of them are in the early baby steps, that's a Dave Ramsey term. Some of them are in the early baby steps and they haven't even saved their $1,000, fund yet. And I'll have that conversation with them. But at least I can have these conversations with them.
Well, yeah, because they're on an educational journey. And when we're in real estate, we're always on somebody's educational journey, but it's also a life journey. Yeah. And when you're open about who you are, now, for any of y'all that don't know, if you're new to the show, the reason I joke about people knowing my politics, I've run for office 3 times. There is no hiding when you have been a filed candidate. It's just a process. And it was scary the first time because I did lose some friends and I lost a bunch of followers. And I've had a lot of very interesting comments said to me and about me. And I love screenshots and I love the private messages that I get who tell me what I am and what I think because of political affiliation, which is pretty categorically unfair to assume what anybody else thinks or says based on anything, because we're all pretty interesting humans, but you get over that. You develop a little bit of a thick skin. And it's like you said, do people show up and say, I'd like to talk to you about this, because they're very interested. And I will say in that political space, it does matter in real estate because you have to have opinions about growth and planning and zoning and development and taxation. And how do we plot all of those out to benefit the community and the country over the long haul? And it's something you can just walk away from because you're afraid of scaring somebody. Because if you're the person who walks away from your opinions in politics, you're just letting that loud person control the conversation. And I'm no longer willing to let one group control the conversation when I do have something to contribute. I might be wrong, I might be right, but I want to get my contribution in.
Bingo. I 100% agree. You mentioned to me a few weeks ago, one of the other big struggles is, and I definitely don't mean to bring race into this audience, but
I was hoping you were, because if you didn't, I was going to, because I know what you're going to talk about now.
Yeah, I want to talk about not only being a conservative, but being a Black conservative. And sometimes we get pigeonholed into these boxes. You know what I mean? And it's really, really, really bizarre because one of the biggest things in the Black community is that we are not a monolith. But when you're voting 90% for anything, you actually are. Right? So that's been kind of a challenge, not a struggle. It's been a challenge getting my own community on board to being independent thinkers and saying you don't have to be one way or another, right? I'm not trying to push you in any direction, but listen more, be more informed, watch the news, see what's going on in the community, and then see if any of these changes, policies, including real estate, affect your personal household. Like, you don't have to look so broadly. You can just see how it affects you and your family. Why are you paying $6.79 for a dozen of eggs? Okay. Why did your grocery bill go from 200 to 400? Why can't you buy a house? Things like that. So I just want people to be more open-minded. And I've gotten a lot of pushback racially and politically because you're a sellout. Because I don't go along with the 85 to 90%. I am so glad to see those numbers have increased during the last election. I think the Republican, and it was voices like Byron Donalds, who I love, Tim Scott, just seeing more. What's the lady in Minnesota? What's her name? You remember? I can't remember.
In Minnesota?
Anyway, yeah.
Roy White was running for Senate in Minnesota.
No, she used to be a long time ago. She was the Minnesota Senator. I forgot her name. Anyway, neither here nor there. There was just more prominent Black voices that were conservative and speaking out about change and how it affects our personal household, how it affects our faith, things we just could no longer contract. And we just had to reject certain things that didn't align with our values and our thinking. So that has increased Black conservative thought. And I love that that's happening. And I think it's going to grow over time. I'm starting to see it more. My algorithm is feeding that to me.
So I have a friend that I know is watching and listening to this, and I'm not going to call out a name. This is a God-fearing man. He loves his wife. He loves his family. He is he's a dear, dear friend. I love him to pieces. We had a conversation about, I don't know, it was several months ago, and that was when I tapped you about this, and the audience just so you know the background here. I was encouraging him to share his beliefs because he's very fiscally conservative, very socially conservative, and he's in real estate. And his fear was, as a Black man, if he were to expose to the world what his thoughts were, whether it's around the financial side of policy or the social side of policy. Now, he's not afraid to share his faith. I will say that. He's very, very vocal when it comes to his spiritual life.
Right.
He said, Leigh, you don't understand. In the Black community and in my circles of friends, if I come out, it will be damaging to my real estate business. I will lose business. And my heart broke into a million pieces that there is any space in the world that would punish somebody for disagreeing with them. And I wasn't raised to punish anybody for being different than me. I was raised to be kind, say hello, and go through life together, even if you don't agree, not to shun. And so what would your answer to him? Because I don't have the same pressures that he does.
Right. I do. Oh man, this is beautiful because I went through it, sir. And you just have to have if you have that much faith in your God, which you said he does.
He does.
If your faith is that strong in your God, he's going to bring you people. That's what, and I had to recognize that too, where I thought that I don't control everything. I don't control everything, right? So I just have to do the things that I can control, which is be more true to myself, the things that make me feel comfortable in my heart, being honest and being ethical, but at the same time, treating people the way I want to be treated, no matter what their color is, no matter what their faith is, what their political, orientation is. And then if I'm honest about that, like I just said a minute ago, that tribe will find me. You won't lose business. In fact, it's safe to say your business will grow. Your business will grow. It will just be a different group of people. And you will feel more comfortable in your skin dealing with people whose values, ethics, and behaviors are aligned with yours. I had so much fun now. Like, how people, real estate agents always say, oh, I love my clients, and my clients invite me to their daughters' weddings and their babies, their dedications, and I get invited to everything. Okay. That's because they don't know who you are. Now,
whoa, that was strong.
It's true though. Now imagine.
Oh,
Am I dropping jewels today? I'm sorry.
that was a bomb. That was strong. And that could preach. That'll preach on some Sunday. Whatever pastor's listening to this, that'll preach.
Now imagine those same clients who actually know who you are. It's real. Now when you're invited to weddings and baptisms, all right, and people dinner, hey, we're having a cookout on Thursday, we'd love you to come. Those people really like you because they know who you are. You didn't fake it. You didn't hide it. You didn't have to hide behind some curtain and go, I'm this way Monday through Thursday, but I'm going to this cookout on Friday and have to be someone different. That's stress. I no longer wanted that stress. I'm too old for it.
I mean, that's the perk of being medium aged, isn't it? Whew, we don't have to have a filter anymore.
No, none. And you just have to live with the fact that, you know what? Everyone's not going to accept me. Everyone's not going to like me. And I'm not going to be able to do business with everybody. Like I said, I gave you a number. 260 million adults are in America. Some of them like you. 77 million voted for DJT. Look at the numbers in your state and try and figure out how many of those people are aligned with your thinking. And then there's going to be another segment of people who just don't care because you're such a great guy.
Exactly.
You won't lose business.
So let me ask you a question, because you lead, you just live your life leading, and
Yes.
you're somebody people do watch and they learn from and admire. So when you made this shift of saying, okay, I'm gonna let it all hang out, I'm gonna just be who I am all the time. Did you hear from people who said, you've shown me the way, you gave somebody else the confidence to express themselves, whether they're with you or not, just they were relieved to have a Chris Wright in front of them?
You know what? The biggest group of people I had was people who whispered to me, who texted me, I hear you, brother, right? I saw your post, or I just want you to know that I'm on the same page. I haven't been as brave as you yet to come out, but thank you so much because I'm not alone. Or people who would inbox me on Facebook and go, I made that transition too, but I'm not ready to come out. I don't want people to know. But I keep going. And I'm watching them slowly but surely. They may not make a Facebook post, but they will comment. It's baby steps. You know what? I'm not their God. I can't tell them how to come out, but they'll come out in their own time and only the way they know how. But no, I have people who told me that I inspired them to come out and just be more authentic. And I don't care which way it is.
Right.
Whether you're blue, red, whatever the case may be, purple, just come out and be authentic to people, because then you're going to make real, genuine relationships.
Yeah, the conversations just get more interesting. And especially when you're doing more than parroting what somebody else says, you say, this is a conversation. This is my viewpoint on it. That's my favorite way for people to have a political conversation, is tell me what you think about a topic. And then let's go from there, which is frankly, everything you're describing is also how you build a real estate business. You just maybe you make a comment, maybe you make a like, maybe you send a text, maybe you make a phone call, and you just keep taking steps, and the business responds over time. And that's not even related to politics. That's related to prospecting, which everything is about building relationships over time.
Right.
And you'll find more agents are going to join your firm because they're going to see the consistency over everything else.
I talked to a client just recently, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and one of my and when I'm doing my buyer's consultation, and by the way, everyone, please do buyer's consultations. Stop meeting people at houses and having conversations, because they're focused so much on the house, they're not listening to you. But if you have a buyer's consultation in your office or somewhere where there's no house, and you say to them, this is what I say, hey, listen, I'll tell them, I know we're not supposed to talk commission, but my commission is X point XX, and the seller is going to pay all of that, some of that, or none of that. But that's my compensation for helping you. It comes off so fluidly and so easy. They go, thanks so much for telling me. You're the first real estate agent that explained that to me. And then we move on. And I keep seeing these Facebook groups that shall remain nameless, but I keep seeing these Facebook groups.
Well, let's just point out there's no mastermind in that Facebook group you're talking about. Not one.
Thank you.
One yet.
I'm seeing posts going, this is the third customer this week, or I showed the third house this week where they don't want to pay buyer's commission. And I'm going, so that's who you should have had that conversation.
Correct.
Right? So I say, listen, customer wants to see 123 Main Street. Okay. You just showed the darn house. Here's the funny part. I get phone calls all day, every day. Hey, Chris, you're listing over on 123 Main Street. Are you paying a broker's commission? It's not important right now. You haven't even shown the house yet.
Exactly.
Go show the house. And then when you send me the contract, if you put your commission in the contract, I'm going to present the contract to my seller.
With the one caveat to my North Carolina listeners, remember, we are the one state that cannot put commissions into a contract. I just want to remind you, we're the only state that has to do commissions separate from the contract. So North Carolina people, don't listen to Chris today, but if we get the commission rules changed, then you can listen to him. Other 49 states, he's exactly right.
Well, I didn't write our contracts. It's already there. That's something that NYSAR came up with. So the NYSAR approved contract has commissions in it.
But the point of it is, good real estate agents and great real estate agents have done this since the beginning of their business. Hey, this is how compensation works. Before you dive into houses or anything else,
right? You
are an agent who got lazy because you did not have to have a very open and transparent conversation. The result of the lawsuit is, okay, you're going to have the open and transparent conversation. And provided you know what you're doing, a buyer should be comfortable compensating you. And if they're uncomfortable, it's probably because you haven't shown them that you're worth it, which is on you to explain to somebody why they want to hire you. It's all got to do with value. I don't want to pay full price for something unless it's great and I really want it, and then I'll pay full price. But if I go to a discount store, I'm not going to pay full price in a discount store. So you got to pick which one you are and then defend that.
Yeah. It's like people who use CarMax. I don't mean to give them.
That's a painful experience.
I know, right? I did it recently. But if you use CarMax, going in, this is what I'm going to get for my trade. This is what I'm going to pay for the car. There's no dickery. This is why they can pay minimum wage to people.
Right.
Because the agents don't have to do any selling, right? Right? They don't have to do any selling. All they got to do is paperwork. So if they say this is the price of the car, if you're the type of person that goes for that, but at least you went in knowing that that's the situation. But you're right, it was a painful experience.
Okay, well, we've run up against the end of our time here, and I feel like we could talk all day, and it
went so fast.
So I guess you'll just have to come back for episode 4, because now I know that all of my audience is going, wait, this conversation is a whole different one. And so if you want to hear more from Chris, put it in the comments below. But more importantly, tell them where they can find you and all of your thoughts, ramblings, and views on the world.
Right. So I do have a podcast. It's growing slowly. That's how YouTube works. but it's youtube.com at Chris B. Wise Podcasts, B-E Wise, right? I wanted to share that. I put that on a piece of paper for you.
Oh, yeah. I thought you wrote that down for yourself, which was going to crack me up. I'm like, that's why your channel's growing slowly, because you're like,
No. I was going to make sure that, because someone had put B without the B-E, but it's the Chris B. Wise, B-E Wise Podcast. It's all, and I think I'm going to warn you, it's all politics, it's all views, and it's really catered toward Black conservatives, right? Because I want people to be able to be out and be comfortable talking about. But the great part about it is that it's about politics in general. So I do that. I do a lot of TikTok content. And by the way, Leigh, I'm seeing more of your TikTok content. I know you're not doing live video there. Your videos are being transferred, put on there, right?
I can't figure out live on TikTok, and I did it one time, and I couldn't figure out what to do next, and so I've not looked at it again. So maybe you can train me on that sometime.
Well, the platform's going away anyway, from what I understand. So
no, did you not hear Kevin O'Leary's wanting to buy it? The guy from
I heard.
And then I might actually put it on my phone and not just have my team upload my stuff, because I don't trust it on my. But if he buys it,
or they at least should come up with a U.S. version where they can control more.
Well, he's Canadian, but I think they're going to wind up being the 51st state anyway. So it's all going to be a new world. It's all strange.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. Yeah, be like the Louisiana Purchase.
Why not? They've got some beautiful places up there. I'd love to go to Banff more frequently. I mean, it's easy.
Quebec City is one of my favorite places to visit.
It's so pretty. It's very romantic.
It is. All right, well, Leigh, listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait. Back to the show.
Yeah, when I have something new to tell you, I'll text you and let you know.
So I look forward to it. And y'all should go subscribe to his channel, share it with a friend, and reach out to Chris as well for any of your Albany, New York real estate needs. We'll have all of his links and contact information in the show notes for this episode. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you're not a Black male conservative, you can still follow Chris, because I personally follow people that aren't exactly like me so that I can keep learning. So maybe you want to be like Leigh Brown and go follow lots of people and learn too, because if there's anything about real estate that's crazy and awesome, it is that right there. So make sure that y'all subscribe, hit the bell, come back and see us again, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Leigh.
By the way, friends, don't miss my brand new coaching program at answers.realestate, where you can have access to Leigh Brown, submit your questions, have them answered, meet like-minded professionals, have an entire library to help you build your business no matter what happens in the market. Get signed up today. I promise you'll be glad you did. As always, I'm so super thrilled that you joined in for more crazy shit. And if you're a realtor, investor, inspector, lender, or just a regular human being who happens to have an unbelievable story that you need to tell the world about, or frankly, you just need to one-up the story you just heard, then make sure to DM me on Instagram at Leigh Thomas Brown, or tweet me at Leigh Brown, or frankly, any social network where you hang out. I'm there. And if you had some fun, then you totally want to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.